elasticity. So this is just like a little, it's not that extreme. And I remember I used to go to car meets when I was just like still younger. And I remember listening to one guy, he was talking about Japan goes to the extreme of the extreme. And I didn't really understand what he meant by that. And so I went home, completely forgot about it, but after researching this, I realized this is what he was talking about. Because usually here in America, you have American muscle, JDM cars, meaning like Japanese domestic cars, they just modify them a little bit, and just two other things, tuners. But Bosozoku never really made it. Just a very few people that practice it here. And so usually this was created by gangs, like I said, but people like this style so much that they do this to their cars without being associated with gangs. And so in 1982, the gang member groups reached up to 42,500 members, but to this day they're mainly like extinct, except the crazy style of this. And so first, I'm gonna discuss basically the Bosozoku style when it got created, the main principles of the car culture, and just the look of the car overall. And so, like I said, it began after World War II by the gangs. And so, basically, the word usually meant that it's a car driven by Japanese gangs. And like I said, it was created in the 70s. And the main principle of these cars was it goes to any car culture, is just this to stand out. The person that's driving usually feels like free or cool as they do it. And Horncastle from BBC 2018, specifically Top Gear, they sent out a group of people specifically to Japan just to drive these cars and get the experience. And so one of the guys that first got into one of these cars said the moment he got in and the car started rolling, it immediately bottomed out. And then again, and again, and again, meaning basically the lowest point of the car was constantly scraping the floor. And so basically he said this, just picture yourself kayaking down a river with an inch of water, is basically what it felt. And so basically the style to drive this car would be a hesitant motorbike just weaving out of like traffic for any imperfection in the car. And so just imagine like a drunk driver, and that's the style of this, basically. And in mainstream society, you stand out a lot like a sore thumb, which is the intention of this group of car people. And then, see, Constantine of the Drive 2018 basically refers to the word Bosozoku is basically the style of the car. It usually means the violent aggressive aesthetics of the car. And basically this style of car is basically a combination of multiple car cultures from the past of Japan, from the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. The crazy exhaust systems of specific cars come from the motorcycle culture. The wide flares, the lowered stands comes from other ones that in Japanese I won't even try to pronounce since it's weird to me. And yeah, it's just basically, for the first half is driving it, like I said, it's basically like a drunk driver, and the person in the car just feels cool, and they feel like they're expressing themselves in their certain way. And the second part of the culture is just the style of the car. And so now you've learned the crazy car culture in Japan that never really made it to the States, but it's still big over there. And so if you want to learn more about this, just on Instagram, just search up the hashtag Bosozoku. It's spelled so just exactly the way it sounds. And then you could also read Top Gear's review on it. It's called TP 72 Hour Guide to Bosozoku. And just, I don't know, like that's actually kind of cool to me since I'm a car person.